Hi, it is April 2020, the height of the coronavirus pandemic here in the United States. I think everyone is starting to get a little stir crazy from being stuck in the house for so long with so many jobs and businesses shut down or furloughed. I'm going to do a little exploring today, and I'm just going to be driving around the abandoned Vint Hill Farms Station. This is it was a U.S. Army Signals Intelligence and Electronics Warfare facility from 1942 until 1997. The facility was over 700 acres at its peak, and it focused on cryptography, monitoring. It was a monitoring station for various radio transmissions. During World War II, they were responsible for intercepting some communications between from Japan that detailed the Nazi fortifications along the French coast, which were very helpful for the D-Day invasion. During the Cold War, it was responsible for intercepting Soviet diplomatic and military communications, and also handled communications for the CIA and the FBI. I'm about 40 miles west of Washington, D.C. in Vint Hill Farms. Most of the station has been turned into McMansions and breweries. There's not much left. The biggest building still remaining is the one of the Barracks buildings. At its peak, this facility housed over 2,000 military and civilian contractors. A lot of the other buildings I feel have been repurposed. Just driving around and looking at them, you can tell that many of them, were originally a military construction and have been repurposed for other uses now. So, for example, here in front of me, I have a brewery. Obviously, this is not something that was originally here in 1942, as were many of these buildings. And I'm just going to drive around a little bit. It's really windy and cold out here today. I'd love to get out and walk around. I'm not really familiar with the area. I'm actually only about 10 minutes from my house. I was really surprised to learn about this facility. Again, coronavirus pandemic, just sitting around spending a lot of time on the internet when I should be studying, and was quite surprised to learn that there was a former facility like this out here. So off to my right, I just passed the Cold War Museum. I can see the sign that says Mount Weather, 32 miles away, NSA evac site, 200 yards. It's got a little sign out, one of those directional signs. It's not open, of course, nothing is open, so I can't really go in there, and I don't really know much about it. So here's some more wineries. This site is really, Northern Virginia is just lousy with wineries and McMansions, and it's really unfortunate how much interesting history has been. Actually, I'm going to make a left so you can see some of these ridiculous houses. These are well over $500,000 every one of these houses, probably $700,000 or $800,000. It's horrible that the people that have lived here for 20 or 30 or 40 years. I can't afford one of these houses. I don't know what kind of job you have to be able to afford one of those houses, but they're huge and really impractical. I wouldn't want one even if I could afford it. So I'm going to make a right here into the facility, and you can see ahead the Barracks building. And I'm going to kind of circle around a few of these buildings just to kind of record them. It looks like they're starting to be torn down. I noticed a lot of construction dumpsters, some portable toilets, that all kind of give me the indication that a lot of this stuff is currently in the process of or about to be torn down. There's a vehicle up there just to my right that I just passed. It looked a little suspicious. I don't know what that was all about, why it was parked there. We got a couple walking their dogs. This is a beautiful place to walk your dogs. It's terrible cold today. But directly to my right is the Barracks. And straight ahead of me, I'm sure that's some military building at some point. Looks like it had an incinerator in it. I don't don't know, just based on the chimney, the smokestack to it. I'm going to turn into this parking lot here on my left, and I'm going to swing around so you can see this building here. Oh, it's got a pried open window, but that's too small for anybody to get through. And I'm just going to kind of point the car here at the barracks as I come around the circle here, so you can kind of see what this looks like. There's some kind of generator there. So originally 3 stories, it looks like, most of it here, 1 story, and some of it, a lot of the windows are smashed out. And then again, you can see the construction dumpsters and the piles of debris. I don't think that this building is long for this world. Hopefully I can come down here on a nicer day and maybe walk around it. A bicycle around it would be really nice. This whole area, can't say it doesn't seem like it would be nice to bike around. So there's various steps leading up to the building. Fire hydrant. Some other buildings on my left here. I don't know if this was a military building. It looks a little bit newer. This white building off to my right. I'm going to come ahead and I'm going to make a right just past this white building. This definitely looks as if it was military. 4260. I don't know what it is or was. It doesn't have any signs on it. The windows aren't barred. The building to the left that I just passed looks like it was a church, or it's actually, I can see construction stuff is still inside of it. It may be going to be a church. So obviously, anybody that records Urbex videos, you can imagine I'm a pretty big fan of Dan Bell, Exploring with Josh, all that. I'd love to be able to get into some of these buildings. Fairfax County, Northern Virginia, they're really strict on anything like that. Let's see, I want to make a right and come by the barracks again. Actually, I want to just head up this road first. A lot of these buildings have signs on them that Fauquier County WSA, I don't know what that is, Water Sewer Authority maybe, I'm just guessing. Looks very, again, looks as if it was potentially, military at one point. This little white shack here, I think a lot of those, I don't know what, maybe guardhouses at some point. So this building looks like it's been pretty well maintained. May have been an original building to the base. Just wanted to show what some of the different buildings here look like. Gonna keep going. Actually, I think I'll go to the right. Let's go by the barracks here. So big sports field here, playground. Probably if everything wasn't shut down, I would imagine there would be people out here playing some kind of team sports. Coming back up towards the barracks building again, and I'm going to try to kind of go slow here so you can see the barracks. And then there's this building just off to the right now that has this really interesting painting on the side. From the front, I guess it's not sealed off. It just says Vint Hill something. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what. Almost looks like a little offices. Maybe it was. I don't know if this was originally from military use. It says laundry, ice. I wonder if it was officers' quarters, maybe. Senior enlisted. Maybe somebody got their own little private rooms there. Certainly nicer than living in the barracks that you can see in front of me. So I see a lot, big concrete pad. I'm just passing there. I know that there was originally a lot more buildings here. Everything being torn down, of course. I'd love to be able to do this at the old ARC site in Gainesville, Virginia, the Atlantic Research Corporation. Of course, I can't. That's still totally off off limits. I wonder if you can just drive right. What do you get if you drive right up to the front? Is that a sidewalk or a road? I'm almost tempted to drive to the right here. Too bad the arc site's being torn down now. Really bummed about that. But here you can see I'm just going to kind of try to go slow. I guess I should have pointed the camera a little bit more to the side. That says building 14, no trespassing. More construction dumpsters. The windows are either blocked off or smashed out. And here, let's pull in again so you can see it a little bit better from the front. So it's just real interesting to me that, at one point, thousands of people lived here, and it's just completely closed off and being repurposed now. If I saw a hole through that gate, I'd probably be tempted to run up and snap some photos of the inside of the building, but you can tell it's just an absolute mess. Looking through the windows, the ceilings are collapsed. I would imagine the floors are probably collapsed as well. There might be something for another day. Just try to get a few photos of the inside here. You can see some more of it. Maybe I'll circle around the building from the other direction as well. I don't know how well the camera's picking up the insides of the buildings, but I can see everything is just absolutely gutted and falling apart on the inside. Just debris hanging from the ceilings everywhere. So we have this other little building off to the left. Looks like it might have been a maintenance, maybe motor pool. Says warning something. Building number 4260, if that means anything to anybody that watches this. I'll just point the camera at the Barracks building here again. Looks like the whole roof is in bad shape. The windows, again, a lot of them are just busted out, totally out of the frame. So I can drive around here a little bit more. Again, the Barracks building really seemed like the most interesting thing to see. There's a big house straight in front of me. I don't know if that was original to the base, almost maybe a base commander's house, maybe. There's a few bigger houses. Let's see. I don't like the way that gray SUV is parked right there. That seems weird to me. Like, are they just watching, waiting for somebody to come out? I can't imagine scrappers want anything else out of here. You can see more of those McMansions off to that I just went around. Here's another building, boarded up. Almost certainly this was a part of the base at one point. There's somebody in that car. Maybe they're waiting for I don't know. Maybe somebody works in that building. They're waiting for their husband or wife to get off work. No idea. Got letters on the front. Says permanently closed effective 1 October. Look at that. Permanently closed. I'm going to pull up so you can see the front door. Permanently closed effective 1 October 96. So 4227 is that building. So that was basically coincides with when the base closed down. BRAC came along and closed a lot of these older bases in the late 90s. Let's see if I go straight again. That takes me back to the wineries and the Cold War Museum. That building ahead, that brick building straight ahead, that definitely looks like it was a part of the base at one point. Seems to be in better condition. I know certain civilian contractors and whatnot have moved into this location. There's that great big house off to the right again. I don't know if that showed up on the camera at all. That is the Inn at Vint Hill. Okay. I've heard of that place. They do weddings and stuff there. I think actually somebody I know got married in there. So this building off to my left, this is a theater, and I don't know with the sun glare how well that shows up. That definitely looks like it's original to the base, as does this other building here to the right. The theater, I would imagine, probably was in use, entertaining troops and whatnot. Does appear to still be used. It just says stay tuned, fctstage.org out front of the theater. This building is a Commonwealth Medical Laboratory off to my right. I don't know what this big white one here is to my left. Some newer stuff further ahead and to the right. Let's see. Let's circle through. This is the Vint Hill Village Green Community Center. Okay. Looks like it was probably original to the base, has been remodeled a little bit. I'm just guessing at this point. Let's see. So it's interesting, how the base is being reclaimed by the community. We see that a lot in Northern Virginia, places like the old Loudon Penitentiary. Once a huge jail complex for DC prison inmates, and it's now a art center and housing and golf courses and stuff like that. I'm sure these people out here for their evening stroll, they don't think anything weird about a guy with a camera stuck on his dash. So a lot of land for sale signs. I don't know how far the base extended. I see some of these white buildings down here to my left. These look like these may have been military at one point. I'm gonna make another pass down here, and then I'll hang a U-turn just to show you these white buildings. Those right there on the right-hand side definitely appear to have been. I can turn down here. Why not? Let's go down here. Somebody out here living in an RV. Wow, these buildings are in rough shape. Wow. Oh, geez. Doors swinging wide open on that one. Let's see what's inside of it. Pallets and leaves and trash and a fridge. Interesting. I wonder if these were quarters at some point, or if these were just storage. These look too rudimentary to be storage, but then again, how does the Army like to let people live sometimes? They could have been quarters. I want to make a pass up this way where you can see that big radio tower. I think part of these towers, this area was part of the base, and it does look like it's all been taken over by civilian, for civilian use now. Let's see. There's some more buildings down to my left. Water tower. I don't know what that stuff is. Wooded lots. Yeah, a lot of housing. That's the one thing in Northern Virginia is constant development. Developers everywhere. You can't turn around and not trip over new development of $500,000 homes. Even nothing seems to slow them down. Christian Children's School. Okay, yeah, this stuff looks new. This is all too new. This might have once been base property. Certainly not. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna make one more pass by the old Barracks building. Because again, that really seems like the only really still recognizable element of the base. stuff. Looks like it might have been a fire station. I don't know. That's where the radio tower's coming up out of. If anybody who happens to see this video will remember what this base looked like back in the day. You know, I really like the nostalgia of it, even if it makes me sad a little bit. You know, not that I was ever here when it was operating, but I'm sure for people who were, there would be a lot of nostalgia over, you know, seeing what it's become. All of the, you know, the thousands, the tens of thousands of people who were stationed here at one point. I'll just come down. Let's go the other direction this time. Let's just see it from a different angle. I'm just going to come down and circle the barracks again. Land for sale. Everywhere land for sale. Future home of Triumph Baptist Church. Okay, that's what this is. So now you can see the barracks building coming up on the left. Steps leading up to it. See a lot of you can see straight through some of these buildings. They're just gutted. I think I saw some talk of them turning this into like a senior housing or oh yeah, there's actually a sign: land for sale, senior housing, assisted living, memory care, independent living. There is cats. There is legit stray cats out front of there. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay, I'm kitties. That is so sad. So I'm going to circle around here again. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to circle around. I'll circle around the building again. I'm going to come back and I'm going to park and I'm going to say hi to those kitties. Let's see, I probably didn't need to come into this parking lot. Does let me come out and point the car back to the barracks one more time. So that's pretty much it. You know, if this video was interesting to you, if you liked it, please you know, thumbs up and subscribe. I hope to do a lot more urban exploring videos in the future. It's really something that I've had a fascination with for quite a few years, and you know, I'm certainly no exploring with Josh or, you know, any you know, anybody like that, but yeah, I hope to produce a lot more content like this in the future. And I'm gonna go see those kitties, and now they're gone. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's a kitty. There's a legit kitty up here. Anybody's gonna say anything about me parking right here. Look at that cat. Look at that kitty. Look at that fat orange kitty. Look at him running. live in here. This is so sad. They're going to tear down their home. Somebody's been feeding them even. Look at this. There's a feeder. Well, maybe I can bring them some food. All right, well, signing off. I'm totally geeked out now over the cats. There was one right under the glass. He just ran under. Poor little b****s. Bet they go in there. I bet they live in this building. Well, so now you get a little bit closer view of it. Land for sale. I'll walk around and take a few still pictures. I hope this video was helpful. You know, if any people who are stationed here would like to comment on this, or what they think of the development here, I'd definitely be interested to hear from you. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks. Have a good day.